Okay guys, today we're gonna be trying something that I have actually never tried before. So I was watching somebody's 100 painting challenge where they tried to do 100 paintings in 3 days, and I noticed something that I was like, okay, I really like those vibes. And it was just this picture of a girl sticking her tongue out, but it was a Linocut, I hope I'm saying that right, where she had carved it basically into a stamp, but it just had a really neat feel to it, and then she had like a spray painted like mixed media background. So today we're going to be attempting a Linocut of our own. So I have this giant sheet, I have this linoleum block, which I'm not sure what the difference is other than that this one has a backing and that one does not. But then I also have a Speedy Carve. It really looks like a pink eraser to me, but it's supposed to be a little bit easier to get tools into. And then also, if I wanted to do something super small, I have a couple of erasers that can also be carved into. So to do the carving, I have bought this tool. Have no idea how it works, but I've basically only seen the gouge portion being used in videos and things. So we're gonna start there and see what happens. Yeah, so once you make your stamp though, you then coat it with either ink or paint, or I know there's like speedball printing ink that can be used, but I have not purchased that yet because again, this is my very first try. I'm not sure I want to fully invest in the suite of products that they're trying to sell me. But you apply it with a brayer, which thank you, I just got from a friend at church who gave me a bunch of art supplies. And so you kind of brayer it on. Look, I have one out of the package as well. So brayer on your ink, and then you stamp it onto your paper. And this says it's a sanding block, but what I'm gonna try to use it for is to smooth the paper onto the print and get a really clean printing from that. So those are the materials. Let's move into the references that I've pulled and kind of how I'm going to translate that into a stamped image, because I do feel like it's an entirely different medium than just say drawing or painting, because you are working in one layer of opaque ink, usually black. Now granted, there are ways to do like transparent inks and layered prints and all that stuff. That's not really what we're doing today. We're gonna do one print. It's gonna have all the shading, or I guess it would be cross-hatching in this case, since it's a print, but it's gonna have all the line work direct on that one stamp. So you could probably sense a theme here, which is just like kooky, smiling, laughing, giggling. This one was cool because it like has a hand here, but I have no idea if that'll translate to a stamp at all. You know, she's holding up some glasses. This girl's making a face. This is probably the most boring of them, but I thought I could get good detail practice in the hair, kind of figuring out like which curl piece to save and which to exclude. You know, smiling and laughing. This one had kind of cool arm movements, and I think that's all of the references that I've pulled. So what I was gonna do to see if these translate well as stamps is basically trace them out and then kind of flesh in the details. So I have tracing paper that I've used for like figure studies before. There's a whole bunch of ballerinas in here because I was using it for Ivy Newport's class on Degas dancers. I also had like some practice on trying to skew color palettes in here. So what I would do is I would like trace the image, but then the focus was on adding colors that were like not skin tones in order to focus on values so that I could see if I could like skew my my colors in a more inventive way. So it's kind of nice because it speeds up the part of the process that you're not trying to practice so that you can get to the part of the practice that the part of the piece that you are trying to practice. Okay, so I'm flipping all of that out of the way though, and it's so slippery that it keeps going everywhere. There we go, fresh piece. And then I'm thinking maybe we start with the most familiar to me, which is like kind of not expressionless, but like simplified expression portraiture, which I paint all the time, so it should not be as complex. So I have that underneath, and I'm just gonna trace them out and then see which ones are gonna work for a stamp. Here we go. Okay, so that's the end of the first practice one. See, I keep going, oh, that would make good hair, and adding more. But I think other than this, it's done. I do think that like some of the details of the face might get lost, just because they're so such fine detail, but I do think like this outer ring of detail is kind of what I should aim for in the future ones. Now, is it a complete smudgy mess? Yes. But does that matter? No, because this is just the practice, and basically I would be transferring the design onto lino and then cutting it out, and so none of the fact that there's lead everywhere is just not going to matter. I'm going to keep going on the rest of them, and then we'll kind of review and see which ones we like best. I basically made a photocopy just so that if one gets mangled, we have a second go. And now we're ready to transfer the designs. So that's my dog in the background. I'm gonna take some vine charcoal and just rub it along the back side of this, which is a craft from Sunday school that I just decided to save the paper on. And then also I started with just one of these blocks and have since realized that I wanted like big chunks, because most of mine will fill at least a whole page, if not more. And so I went through Amazon and ordered a couple more just so that we could do all 4 designs in one go. And let's get to transferring. Okay, so that was my very first attempt. and we are finished with the carving portion. To me, it almost looks like some of these like aren't deep enough and that they'll still ink up when I go to ink up the entire thing, but like we'll just have to wait and see, because some of them are much deeper than others. As you can see by the 2 times I went completely through the entire linoleum block. My bad, but not too bad for my very first time, and I feel like it's going to be a cool print. I'm currently waiting for the block printing ink to come in the mail. Odds are I'll get impatient, so if I finish all of the 4 images, getting them carved into the blocks, I'll probably just use some other ink and figure it out. But it'd be kind of cool if the first time we inked them up, it was with the like official legit ink. In the meantime, I am gonna get started on another one. I did notice that detail is kind of hard, which makes me wonder like how I'm gonna do some of these. But we'll just have to see. I think this is probably my next one because it's got the easiest stuff. But even this, like, I'm thinking I will carve away everything but the part that's hashed, and then I'll just do like hashes within that shape, and then that should give me the same effect, even though I'm not going to be transferring in like every single shadow like verbatim. It'll be more of a like a conceptual thing. So yeah, I'm gonna get carving on the next one. Oh, another thing that I noticed from the initial carving, which I should have realized, but I did not at the time, was that I charcoaled the back, which seemed to work, and that transferred the image onto here. Now, I was afraid though, as I was carving, that I would smear the charcoal. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, I'll take this, I think it's called like a gas-infused nylon brush pen, because this is like India ink. So once it's dry, it's dry. It shouldn't give you any issues. So I was like, oh, okay, so if I ink it after I transfer it, then that will prevent it from smudging. Well, somewhere along the line, it should have occurred to me that this substance is made for inking to then pull a print. So the ink isn't gonna absorb and dry, although it did dry in some places, but where it was still fresh and I hadn't let it really set, it smeared all over the place. So that was why it got so complicated towards the end, and I really had to like lean in, was because I couldn't see where the line was anymore because it had smeared so bad. So I'm thinking for this one, I'm still gonna do that process, but I may like hit it with a heat gun or give it adequate time to dry before I start trying to carve it, because I really don't want to have to deal with the smeary mess that was. So here we go to the next one. Okay, I feel like the second one went a lot easier. So this time around, I was trying a different method than just sort of like diving in with the big one and then working to smaller. This time I started with the smallest one and I outlined everything. And then when I actually did go in with the larger one, it was like so much easier to work the gouge into it and not like miss and not have to be working so hard to aim it because it already sort of had a groove to aim for. I'm very excited to see how this one turns out because it does have shading, let's say, where I did some like lines here and at the edge of the face so that she would have a little bit of like shadow happening. So I'm kind of curious as to see if that actually turns out. But I got 2 more to do, so that'll be tomorrow. Okay. 1 down, 2 down. Number 3. So let's get started. This one has more fine lines than all of the other ones, so we're getting harder as we go. Here we go. Okay, we may have flown too close to the sun because, yeah, the details are too fine on this, and I also just smeared off her nose, so she's just not gonna have a nose. So she's like Voldemort, and she full on has fangs because I can't get detail on the teeth. So I'm trying to decide what I want to do about it because, like, in theory, I honestly could just, at this point, carve out everything that's not the sunglasses on her face, and maybe that would make it look good. But it's definitely not going to be the original intent because I have messed her up. She's in rough shape. Yeah, I'm thinking we carve away everything right here. Just no. And then we just keep the sunglasses. And maybe some shading here. Yeah. Okay. news! The ink came in the mail. So I finally get to actually pull a print from this, and I'm very excited. I'm gonna start with the magenta block printing ink by Speedball. And I've never used this before, so I have no idea what it's gonna do. But we're gonna just see. It looks thick. I don't know why it looks so thick, but I'm hoping that it kind of... Ah, there we go. Okay, you just gotta smush it around a little bit. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm trying to get it kind of worked out. It's not quite coating my whole brayer, but I think that'll probably be good enough. I also have watercolor paper to print it on. I'm going to use the smooth side. I'm not sure if a thick paper is the best. Oh, look at that. But we're going to try the thick paper before we try the thin, just because I feel like it'll be more usable for me in the future if I did it on a thick piece of paper versus like a piece of printer paper. Should definitely be a line. This should definitely have more on it. Maybe I need to put a little dab more on the page. Okay. There we go. Like a this. And then like a this. Oh. That's not good. What did I pick up? I picked up something sharp. Oh, I picked up a bead. For my other project. My bad. Okay, I want to get really good impression on those lips, otherwise I think they'll look weird. Here we go. We don't want it to dry. I'm not sure how much time I have to work with this, but okay, we're gonna go like this and here. And then I'm taking this sanding block to smooth it out. Do I know if this is the right tool? No, I do not, but I have a feeling it'll work. Okay, let's see. Oh, I'm so nervous. Okay, so need more ink, probably, but that's still really cool. Look at it. Oh, that's so cool. Nice. I'm just staring at it at this point in case you're wondering, like, why is there no audio? Why is nothing moving? I'm just in awe of my first print. Yay. Okay. I do think it probably would work better with like more ink up front and maybe thinner paper. But we're going to keep going with the watercolor and we're going to do our next print just so that we can see them all. Okay, come here, little girl. I'm going to set you over here now. Fresh piece of paper for the next two prints. Apologies in advance if you can hear the construction going on across the street. Okay, so now we have this girl. Okay, and we're just gonna use kind of an insane amount, felt like, but whew. Okay, we're gonna remove the glass bead that got in there and probably scratched up some things. Okay, sorry about that. Here we go. I wonder if it's just because it's cold here today that it's giving me thick, because it definitely is thicker than I imagined it being. Ooh, that coated noise. Okay, one more roll around, one more roll on this, and then we're taking our smooth side of our paper. This should really be at the bottom of the paper. Here we go. And then clearly I got some on my fingers at some point. I'm also seeing why people put these through like a full-on press, because I have a feeling that would make it easier on your hands than just trying to rub a really good print in. Oh, okay, I almost dropped it. Oh, and there's a piece of rubber right there. Okay. That is so cool. Oh my gosh, and I did shading on this one, and I forgot to even like panic and wonder how that was going to turn out, but it turned out so good. Oh, this is cool. Okay. I take back everything negative I said in the video thus far, which I can't even remember, but I'm sure there was something, because this is totally worth it, guys. Okay? It's like such a process to get them all carved and everything, but when you pull a print, so satisfying. Okay. Last print. We're going for it. I feel like I finally have enough ink on this piece of paper, or on this palette, I should say. Okay. This is the one with the very solid pair of shorts, so I kind of am curious as to how that will turn out. And then we all remember the vampire face that we had to carve out of it, so we're just gonna see how it's gonna look. Okay, this part's fun. I should probably just get enough and be happy with it. Okay, here we go. And then we are smoothing it out, rubbing it down. In case you guys can't see me straining over this should be very simple process, I'm really trying here. I want to get a good print, guys. Okay, here we go, and we peel up. Oh, cool! She still kind of looks like a scary horror villain, but honestly, not bad. I like it. The shading on the shirt, like, I'm not sure if that's good or not great, but I feel like I like it. I could even see myself like adding in the rest of the features like drawn in, and maybe doing this one as like half ink, half drawing. So yeah, super cool. Okay, that was the video. I will definitely be doing this again because it was super fun. It's like I only gouged myself once with the knife and it barely bled. I mean, it bled on the lino a little bit, but that's okay. My blood, sweat, and tears are in this. Yeah, but it's like, you know, all things considered, I thought it was going to go way worse, and I thought I was going to like have trouble remembering what parts to carve and what parts to not carve, or that I would like slip and make these giant gashes through the whole thing. But like, honestly, I feel like it went very smoothly considering I've never done this before. Yeah, so I think, let me move this out of the way so that you can see all the finished works. I definitely need to pull another print from this now that I realize like how much ink it actually takes to do this. But it's like, I think of all the prints, this one is definitely my favorite. And like, I can't even tell you why. It's almost like it's my favorite because of the pieces that I messed up, which is like this little like sunbeam type of thing going around. Just kind of adds another element. Like, it really does look like a Linocut versus like just a black and white drawing, or I mean, I guess pink and white drawing. Yeah, so that was the video. Like and subscribe if you want to see this again, because I definitely want to do it again, so you may be subjected to it either way. And that was the video. Thanks for coming, guys. Bye.